Connie Willis, the podcast. Taking you into new ways of thinking, even providing answers to questions you've often pondered. Connie Willis, the podcast. This is a Connie Willis exclusive. Whistleblower. What you're about to hear has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast.
Let's get back to our exclusive conversation with Robert Treat, private military, government contractor, and U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran. He is here with a deathbed confession. His GoFundMe is in the description below.
Informant.
So Glenn's like, yeah, get in it. So it's not like you're doing anything against him. You're just now, you can still work with him, but now you're also on the inside working with them, the elite.
Yeah. So now I'm going to parties and galas and private events and, private rooms and nightclubs, and they're
How's your wife in all this?
I didn't tell her squat.
Wow. Okay. You couldn't, could you?
No. For many reasons, she'd have killed me.
Well, yeah. Yeah. The only person that could take you down is your wife. And she has every reason to. Okay.
There's no way she wouldn't believe I wasn't cheating on her. And I wasn't, by the way, for the record. But she would never believe that.
I wouldn't think you'd be that guy.
I'd wake up with my forehead glued to the sheets. She'd kill me. But these.
So you're in the inside. You're there. You're doing you're just having this power. You're with the most powerful people, correct?
Yes.
Who are these people? What are their names? Do we got names?
Oh, these are the people that you hear about at Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg Group, the Rockefellers, Queen Beatrix, the Queen of England. Although I never saw the Queen of England. Nobody ever does. She's like the most powerful elite on the planet at the time.
Was.
Yeah, it was.
How old are you at this time?
Oh, let's see. Mid-30s.
Wow.
Early 30s.
Okay. Young.
Yeah, I think I'm about 34. It's right after my accident.
We'll talk about the accident later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to these, and they're just talking openly around me, and I can't believe the things that are coming out of their mouth. I'm like, holy moly, I cannot believe they just said that.
Do they make you go through an oath or anything? Don't ever say anything outside this wall, or anything like that? Or is it given that you shut up?
That comes later, but once they make the offer, then you're already in, and the ritual is a formality, and we'll get to the ritual. That's coming up.
Okay.
So, they're just talking openly, and they're discussing their agendas and asking my opinion on things. Like, they asked me what my opinion on back then. Hillary Clinton was proposing her universal health care, and they asked me what I thought about that, and I said it won't work in America. And actually, my opinion on that was actually passed back to Hillary. And sometimes I wonder if the nasty thing that happened to me after that was actually a result of I kind of felt responsible for torpedoing that. Because I said it wouldn't work in America because we don't have a culture.
What was she proposing? In a nutshell, that you said it won't work, and why?
Basically, like socialized medicine, like they have in Canada and England. It wouldn't work here, and the reason I gave is because we don't have a culture. We're African American, Chinese American, Native American, this American. I'm Republican, I'm Democrat, I'm Baptist, I'm Methodist. For crying out loud, how many divisions do we have? But if you ask a British person what they are, I'm British. It doesn't matter if they're black, British. I'm not, I'm Afro-British. No, they don't say that.
No, not at all.
In Canada, you ask a black person what they are, they're not like, I'm Afro-Canadian, eh? No, they're Canadians. This place is a mess. And I'm like, it won't work. This place is a mess. Everybody be fighting over who deserves more health care. And that's the way other countries are, but we're not. So I'm like, that won't work. But some of the things they started actually bringing to me were horrendous. And I started to see the real depth of the evil. And then I started to really see how, that they were agents for the fallen because it's the same agenda.
So they were actually coming to you because basically not only did they know your past experiences that you've been successful, but this IQ of yours is able to figure out some things that they can't.
I became their problem solver. They would bring me these horrible things, and they'd ask me how to make it work. How do we do this? How do we implement that? How do we succeed in this? What's the pathway to achieve this outcome? And it was usually financial, but sometimes it was out of the box, very lateral, and it was those things that got to me that made me start seeing the agenda and the conspiracy, if you will, between these people that are running our world and the fallen, and how they have no conscience or remorse about what they do to us. Every person who dies of hunger or disease or lack of clean water, it's their fault. It's their fault on purpose. We're just a resource to be managed so they can achieve a means to an end. Before these groups existed, there wasn't contaminated water. Pretty much all fresh water was drinkable. You can go to the lake and drink. You can drink out of the rivers. You can't do that anymore. That's them. They've poisoned our planet, and they've done it for a reason. And the things they get into is even more insidious day by day. Every project was worse than the last. I remember a proposal brought to me from the Ford Foundation about trying to figure out a way to sterilize every human being in Africa. And I was like, I'm not touching that. I was, frankly, I was angry that they even brought that to me.
What's all that about?
It was part of what was then being drafted, became known as Agenda 21, which became a UN agenda, United Nations. And if they want to look for a governmental boogeyman, then they need to be looking at the United Nations. It's not the United States government or any other, sovereign government. It's it's the non-elected government, the United Nations. That's where all the dirty coordination is done, from everything from the World Health Organization to Planned Parenthood. It's all birthed and done dirty out of that place. It's like the old boys network for scumbags. Sorry, I get passionately angry about them, especially the things that, I witness, the things that they're planning, the things that they want to do. Genetic engineering. They even proposed, one of the proposals was was relabeling all vitamins and minerals as toxins. So learning how they're, destroying our basically our humanity, our genetic makeup, through the weaponization of food. And you see these diets that they come out with, and it's all propaganda, it's all brainwashing. No fat food, no fat diets.
You gotta have fat.
What do you think your nervous system runs on? Your brain runs on fat and sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, the people in this world, or people in this country, are getting dumber every day. Yeah, they are, because they're all eating zero carb, 0 calorie food. They got nothing to run their brain with. And it's like a muscle; it atrophies. The more you use your brain, the more neural connections you make. Your brain actually becomes denser. The less you use it, it becomes a sponge. And now we have a whole country full of sponge brains that will accept almost any idiotic proposition that's thrown at them, as long as it makes them feel good. Which historically is the same thing that caused the fall of Rome.
Informant. What you just heard has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast. Informant. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and be sure to join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com. Whistleblower.